Well, folks, we are formally fucked. Fucked are we? It's finally happened. The unctuous Oompa Loompa in the Oval Office at long last plunged us all into nuclear hellfire. And before you fire back, I'll have you know that as we speak, the Korean Peninsula is hopelessly, utterly engulfed in peace talks.
It's an extremely tense, delicate situation that requires calm diplomacy and sober deliberation. Unfortunately, we elected a human bullhorn with a corn syrup addiction. So yesterday, Bullhorn McSyrup responded to North Korea's latest threat by saying this.
North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States. They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen.
Hey man, when you respond to North Korea, you're not supposed to sound like North Korea.
The news on the Korean Peninsula is being described as a diplomatic breakthrough, and it is. For North Korea.
No, absolutely. North Korea is going to spin this as going into this summit meeting, from a position of strength. They're going to say it's because of our nuclear strength.
You talk too much. You never shut up. I said you talk too much.
There you see Kim Jong-un, leader of North Korea, is going to be for the first time stepping over into South Korea. It is morning on the Korean Peninsula, a historic one at that. The leaders of North and South are about to meet to negotiate a peace settlement. President Moon shaking hands with Kim Jong-un.
I don't care what universe you're from. That's gotta hurt.
Folks, it's a rough day to be CNN. The House Intelligence Committee report was released at long last, revealing, you guessed it, the Russia narrative was not only not worth the glorified goddamn nut rags it was printed in, turns out the only proven Russian collusion was, as many of us already suspected, little more than Oppo research funded by the fucking Clintons. Then, hours the fuck later, the prospect of the end of the Korean War. Hey, anyone want to take bets on whether they'll give the peace prize to the South Korean president, Kim Jong-un's sister, or the parasite they pulled out of that defector dude's dick hole? I got 50 on the fucking ringworm. Of course, within 15 minutes, we all knew where the news media stood on the subject.
It's really quite a bold turn of events from how 2018 opened, where Kim Jong-un and President Trump were exchanging threats about their nuclear buttons. There is a healthy degree of skepticism here. People have been down this road before. Deals have been brokered and broken before.
I think everybody wants this to be a good thing, and so that's the way most of them are presenting it.
Is this even a thing? It's heavily symbolic at this point.
The South Korean leaders have gone to meet with him previously, and I saw on Business Insider they had a great mashup of photos of of today's meeting. And how similar the exact same photos were with a couple of the previous leaders of South Korea who had attempted to smooth things over, obviously unsuccessfully. Now,
It does seem like good news in the meantime.
Yeah,
I can't really talk too much trash about it.
And the Mental Gymnastics Judge Award CNN minus 15 fucking stars. Hey, at least it matches your ratings. I will say, watching the world-class propagacrobatics on display from CNN is the absolute apex of entertainment. If the peace talks consisted of Trump, Kim Jae, and a dyspeptic deaf-mute blind guy who did nothing but periodically shit in the corner, they'd give a Nobel Prize to the poo. If you ain't watching cable news, at least ironically, you are missing way the fuck out today, my friends. Because mark my words, you won't witness an ideological pivot this profound for another 50 fucking years. Or at least until the Democrats want to start winning elections again. I mean, really, ponder this fact for a beat. CNN, ABC, CBS, MSNBC, CNBC, HLN, every last one of these cucks transition from round-the-clock coverage alleging Trump will be exclusively to blame when North Korea kills the planet to Trump was barely involved. Give all the credit to Jong-un's sister for sitting there and smiling periodically. And they did this and made this transition over the course of all of 2 titty fucking hours. Folks, there's no other way to dress this dog shit up. It ain't news. It's propaganda in its purest form, and if I see one more shrieking shit stain refute my arguments with information culled from said source, I will hereby dismiss it as such with nary a fucking apology. But trying to sell us on Trump being utterly uninvolved here, if you sincerely believe a tentative peace agreement signed at a summit that was a literal precondition for Trump to agree to be the first president in U.S. history to meet with the leader of North Korea, constitutes Trump having no involvement. Bitch, you are out of your butt fucking mind. By that fanciful fucking logic, Obama shouldn't get credit for croaking Osama because he didn't actually yank the fucking trigger. I've said it before and even differed with prominent conservative commentators on this subject. But North Korea? Not sitting quite as pretty as some in even the alt press would like to paint the picture. Kim Jong-un's position as paragon of North Korean communism is frankly precarious at best. Ever since ascending to the post, inheriting his predecessor's 5-layer shit sandwich, Jong-un's been perched above a bed of nails and his grip is goddamn weakening. Western media, from South Korean pirate radio broadcasts to soap operas, to political text, to American action films, continue to course through North Korea's surprisingly porous borders with absolute impunity. And with every broadcast that airs, with every soap opera proffered to the public, the days of his unopposed reign shortened by the motherfucking microsecond. The die is cast, folks. Whether a peace arrangement is reached here, whether we nuke North Korea's entire landmass, or we leave the hermit kingdom in question to molder in silent obscurity, Kim Jong-un will be the last dictator of North Korea. The math is the math. The facts are the facts. Their current situation is utterly untenable, and so pressed from all sides, it seems Jong-un is taking the only available course of action that allows him to fucking live in the aftermath, beginning the long and perilous process of gradual transition from their present authoritarian communist approach to a merely quasi-communistic country, which I'll even go out on a limb and predict will in the near future outright incorporate China-style capitalistic aspects into its economy as well. The North Korean government, aware its citizens are starving to death and increasingly cognizant of the preferable capitalistic alternative, believe it or not, has already begun turning a blind eye to other capitalistic endeavors like the thriving black market for fucking groceries. And when has any government, much less a communistic one, ever passed up a chance to tax a thriving untereconomy exactly? Couple this with Japan discovering rare earth minerals off the Pacific coast, thus torpedoing any and all trade value the Chinese might have conceivably fucking foreseen with the North Korean regime. Their nuts are against the wall, folks, and no mistake, it's very real. It's very much happening, and even if these peace talks crater on the morrow, it's a mortal motherfucking certainty. Odd. I could swear I remember losing a debate with a dipshit who alleged that not only would Hillary have been less of a warmonger, but that Trump would plunge the Korean Peninsula into thermonuclear war, but that couldn't be the cunting case.
Yeah, I know you've been a pretty staunch critic of Hillary. Do you think she'd actually be doing a better job right now?
Yes, I do. I think she would be, for a few reasons. He's been just as hawkish, if not more so. Like, I don't think Hillary would have been this hawkish on fucking North Korea, where Trump is like tweeting that he's gonna fucking attack him any minute. Every other president was smart enough to know that when fuckface McDictator fat boy over there starts yapping his trap, you shut the fuck up and let him blow his steam off, and that's it.
President Moon Jae-in said Wednesday Trump's fire and fury threats for Kim Jong-un might have done its job.
I think President Trump deserves big credit for bringing the inter-Korean talks.
Oh, that's a shame.
And there's a life hack for you, folks. Assert your positions unflinchingly once you've determined their efficacy, because no gaggle of grating dipshits in a live stream chat repeatedly alleging you lost in the short term will be able to do a solitary goddamn thing about the inevitable moment you're proven fucking correct. I repeat, never bet against the razor, bitch. So with a stolid salute to the leaders of both nations, not to mention the American president, the media will devote much of its brain power over the coming week to ignoring the influence of in this monumental development, I encourage us all to turn our attention to the next looming humanitarian crisis, the inevitable moment when the North Korean people begin to drive. I'm Razor Fist. God fucking speed.